Going into the firing, loading up a kiln is always an exciting process, but loading up a kiln that's never been fired before, whether you designed it or not, is always a tricky thing, and you really have to balance your expectations and your anticipation of what the results are going to be. So I'm looking at all this information, and there's a huge amount, both from the pieces that are out on the table here, as well as what we can see inside of the kiln, and the way that that reacted to the firing process as well. And so there's a huge amount of information, and I'm trying to maintain the perspective that all of that's going to be useful in making this a more productive tool and a better fit for the studio. We'll document this and sort of digest it over the next few weeks. But so far it's very positive. I feel very positive that we were able to vitrify clay and have some finished pieces out. Yes, it's a great feeling. I've been researching and designing a kiln to fit the space out here, to fit the needs of the studio, and hopefully be a bit of an expansion of the potential for the clay bodies that's already here with JD's other kilns. I think one of the primary difficulties that I encountered, that I experienced, was my lack of experience, and my sort of lack of perspective, and that's exactly why I did this. I participated in a kiln build in 2010 and 11, and that was a collaborative sort of design and construction process with a professor at the University of South Dakota, Michael Hill, and some of the advanced students. And that was a very different scenario than what this process has been. The design process that I went through was based upon my past experience, which was using like brand new bricks, and like 10,000 bricks dropped off in a number of pallets that had never been used before, and they were all straights. So finding a way to use the material that we had available for us to fit into the design parameters that I had sort of set up and created for myself was a difficult process for me in balancing the design specs that I thought were important and that I thought were necessary to make this thing a successful kiln, and then finding ways to use the materials that we had to achieve those goals. So JD was definitely pivotal in some of the design decisions that were made about this kiln. But I'm also very thankful that he was able to take a step back and was a fantastic mentor, and just sort of let me feel my way through the process and make some decisions. Was there to answer questions that I had, or to voice some concerns, or just to sort of feel out my reasoning for design decisions. When you build a kiln, or when you build something that it has this much power, this much presence, it sort of has a way of taking over and controlling a space and determining the way that you use an area. It's a significant amount of space and an investment for JD that I hope will benefit the studio, long after I'm gone.
It's exciting, and there's a lot of really good work. A lot of unknowns, and we succeeded, and Johnny's design allowed that to be a positive resolution.
Yeah,
and some really nice pieces have come out of this first firing. Really good information.
Mm-hmm. Regardless of the information that came out, whether this thing was had some sort of technical failure with the material here, or some sort of detail was overlooked in the design process and the kiln wasn't able to reach temperature, we had to shut it down due to some sort of structural problem. There will be work and documentation from this included, but I'm proud that there'll be pieces available for show and for sale as well. Yeah, there's definitely some very, very strong finished work that came out of this firing.